The laughter echoed across the bright glass office long before anyone realized they were witnessing the biggest mistake of their careers. It started with one mocking question spoken loudly enough for every employee to hear. "You can translate this," the CEO laughed as he waved a stack of complicated international contracts toward the quiet man standing near the conference room door. The room erupted with amused smiles. The single father in the worn blue shirt simply lowered his eyes and nodded politely, refusing to defend himself. No one knew that the exhausted father they were laughing at had once translated speeches for diplomats across 3 continents. No one knew that the little girl waiting for him at home was the only reason he had accepted an entry-level office job far beneath his abilities. And within the next hour, the entire company would discover that kindness is worth far more than expensive suits, impressive titles, or cruel laughter. Before we continue this unforgettable journey, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who still believes in kindness and second chances, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire. Every like and every subscription helps us bring more emotional stories that remind the world compassion still exists. Morning sunlight poured through the towering windows of Brighton Global Solutions, painting long golden lines across polished marble floors. Employees hurried through the lobby carrying laptops, coffee cups, and endless deadlines. Among them walked a quiet man named Adrian Mercer. At 38, Adrian looked older than his age. Sleepless nights had placed faint shadows beneath his eyes, while years of sacrifice had softened the confidence he once carried. His clothes were clean but inexpensive, carefully ironed every evening after putting his 8-year-old daughter Nora to bed. Every morning followed the same rhythm. Adrian prepared breakfast before sunrise, braided Nora's long chestnut hair after watching online tutorials because he had never imagined learning such a skill, packed her school lunch with handwritten notes of encouragement, and kissed her forehead before rushing toward work. His entire world revolved around making sure Nora never felt the emptiness left behind when illness took her mother 4 years earlier. He promised himself she would grow up surrounded by love instead of sorrow, even if that meant burying his own dreams. Very few people at Brighton Global Solutions cared enough to learn Adrian's story. They only knew him as the multilingual administrative assistant who quietly organized documents, scheduled meetings, and delivered reports without seeking recognition. Because he rarely spoke unless necessary, many assumed he lacked confidence or intelligence. In reality, Adrian spoke 7 languages fluently, held advanced degrees in linguistics and international relations, and had once enjoyed a respected career before choosing family over ambition after tragedy reshaped his life. That Monday morning, tension filled the executive floor. An important delegation from several overseas investors was arriving unexpectedly after their lead interpreter suffered a medical emergency. The company faced a crisis. Multi-million-dollar agreements depended upon flawless communication involving several rare language combinations that few professionals could handle. Panic spread from office to office while executives searched desperately for a replacement. The CEO, Vincent Holloway, had built his reputation on confidence bordering on arrogance. Brilliant in business yet often dismissive toward those beneath him, he believed appearances reflected ability. Expensive watches, tailored suits, and polished confidence impressed him more than quiet competence. As employees gathered in the conference room, Vincent noticed Adrian carrying folders toward the translation equipment. Someone casually mentioned that Adrian spoke a few languages. Vincent laughed loudly before asking the question that instantly froze the room. "You can translate this?" His voice carried amusement rather than curiosity. Several managers exchanged knowing smiles. A few younger employees looked away uncomfortably, sensing the unnecessary humiliation unfolding before them. Adrian simply answered with respectful calm that he would do his best if the company needed him. The CEO smirked and tossed several thick documents across the polished conference table. The papers contained legal terminology from multiple countries, cultural references, technical clauses, and diplomatic language capable of changing the meaning of entire contracts if translated incorrectly. Even experienced professionals would require preparation. Vincent folded his arms, expecting Adrian to fail within minutes. Instead, silence slowly replaced laughter. Adrian carefully reviewed the first pages. His tired eyes became focused. His breathing steadied. Years of forgotten experience returned naturally, as though they had merely been sleeping beneath ordinary routines. One language flowed effortlessly into another. Complex legal phrases became precise explanations. Cultural nuances that software could never understand emerged naturally from memory and experience. When the international delegates finally arrived, confusion transformed into admiration. For nearly 3 hours, Adrian translated every sentence with remarkable precision. He shifted gracefully between languages, adjusting tone, humor, technical vocabulary, and diplomatic etiquette without hesitation. Discussions that seemed impossible suddenly progressed smoothly. Even experienced foreign executives began smiling with visible respect toward the quiet father standing beside the conference table. Employees stared in disbelief. The same man they had ignored while passing him in hallways had become the most important person in the building. Even Vincent's confident smile slowly disappeared. One elderly delegate paused during the meeting before warmly complimenting Adrian's extraordinary linguistic accuracy. He remarked that it had been years since he encountered someone capable of preserving not only the meaning of words but also the emotion hidden inside them. Another investor recognized Adrian from an international summit years earlier and expressed surprise that such an accomplished translator now worked as an administrative assistant. Every face inside the room turned toward Adrian. Nobody spoke. Nobody laughed. The meeting concluded with signed agreements worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Executives celebrated the successful negotiations, yet everyone understood who had truly saved the company. Later that afternoon, Vincent quietly requested Adrian meet him inside his office. Outside the glass walls, employees secretly watched, wondering what would happen next. Inside, the powerful CEO found himself struggling to begin the conversation. Pride had always protected him from admitting mistakes. Yet for the first time in years, that pride felt painfully heavy. He finally asked Adrian why someone with such extraordinary qualifications accepted a modest office position. Adrian looked toward the city skyline before answering with gentle honesty. Several years earlier, his wife had lost a difficult battle with cancer. During those heartbreaking months, Adrian rejected international assignments because hospitals mattered more than conferences. After her passing, caring for Nora became his only priority. High-paying careers demanded constant travel, endless flights, and months away from home. Adrian willingly exchanged prestige for stability because no promotion could replace bedtime stories, school performances, or comforting a frightened child after nightmares. He never regretted that choice. His daughter had never once gone to sleep wondering whether her father would come home. Vincent remained silent. For the first time, he realized he had judged a person's worth using appearances instead of character. News of Adrian's remarkable performance spread throughout the company before sunset. Employees who barely acknowledged him now greeted him warmly. Several apologized sincerely for underestimating him. Adrian accepted every apology with quiet grace because carrying bitterness would only steal precious energy he preferred spending with Nora. That evening, Adrian left work exactly on time despite numerous congratulations. He hurried toward Nora's school recital, arriving moments before the curtains opened. Sitting among proud parents, he watched his daughter smile brightly from the stage. Her eyes searched the audience until they found him. She waved discreetly, her confidence instantly growing because her father had kept another promise. As music filled the auditorium, Adrian realized success had never truly disappeared from his life. It had simply changed its meaning. The following week, Brighton Global Solutions announced a new position overseeing international communications. The role offered flexible hours, significantly higher pay, and remote work options whenever family responsibilities required it. The board unanimously requested Adrian accept the promotion. This time, nobody looked at his simple clothing. They looked at the integrity behind the man wearing it. Months later, the company's culture quietly transformed. Managers began evaluating employees by effort rather than appearance. Training programs emphasized humility, empathy, and hidden potential. New hires frequently heard the story of the quiet father whose dignity changed an entire workplace without raising his voice. Vincent himself often repeated one lesson during leadership meetings. The greatest talent in a company may not occupy the biggest office. It may simply be waiting for someone to notice. At home, life became a little easier. Adrian and Nora moved into a brighter apartment with sunlight pouring through every window. They planted flowers on the balcony together every Saturday morning. They laughed while making pancakes shaped like stars. They framed one simple photograph from Nora's recital because that evening meant more than any corporate award. Years later, Nora would proudly tell her classmates that her father taught her the strongest people are not those who prove others wrong with anger, but those who quietly let their actions reveal the truth. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a heartfelt comment, share it with friends and family, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that inspire hope, compassion, and courage. Special request: before this story ends, please comment with the words, "Kindness always wins," if you believe every person deserves respect before judgment. As the sun slowly disappeared behind the city skyline, Adrian held Nora's small hand while walking home beneath the warm golden light of evening. Neither expensive titles nor public applause filled his heart with peace. The greatest reward was hearing his daughter laugh freely beside him, knowing she believed the world still held good people. The office never forgot the day laughter turned into respect, and neither did Adrian. He never sought revenge against those who mocked him because kindness had already accomplished something revenge never could. It changed hearts. Sometimes the strongest voice is the one that remains calm while everyone else is laughing. Sometimes the greatest victory belongs to the person who never stopped being kind. And sometimes, the single dad standing quietly in the corner is carrying a story powerful enough to inspire an entire world.